two main issues for this bilateral meeting. You mentioned them, the environment and supporting a democracy. The environment will be extremely important. We've seen that the Brazilian president has really wanted to turn away from what his predecessor was doing and really bring back the fight to protect the environment in the core of his country and of his program. And he's going to find someone in President Biden that will be very happy to hear that. And we will likely see a big announcement coming from the Americans, possibly in the form of a large contribution, financial contribution to a fund aimed at protecting the Amazon from deforestation. So that could be one of the concrete deliverables that we could expect from this bilateral meeting. Support for democracy, of course, because the two presidents have quite a bit in common. They both were elected against a populist, very far-right candidate who then refused to recognize their victories. And following their victories, there was an attack on the seat of government. It was January 6th for Joe Biden, January 8th for Brazil. And so this is going to be something that both men are going to want to talk about and will have quite a bit of experience to discuss. And really, they will be eager to try to find some solutions going forward to further protect democracy in both of their countries, but also going forward fighting against far-right extremism, fighting against disinformation. But it will not be only things that they agree on. There will be some thorny issues to address. Of course, the war in Ukraine will be one of those thorny issues because the Brazilian president is much more neutral when it comes to Ukraine. He hasn't wanted to really get into this really wide Western support for the Ukrainians, questioning who was really responsible for the start of the war, that not sitting really well with the Americans. And there's also an attempt by the Brazilian president to sort of reset relations between Brazil and China, which of course is the main competitor of the United States.
And on that note, Caravan, we presume that, this meeting will also have a focus on resetting perhaps relations between the US and Brazil following on from the presidency of Jair Bolsonaro.
Absolutely. The real goal of this meeting and this meeting so early on in the Brazilian president's term is to reset relations between Brazil and the United States. Because, as you said, Jair Bolsonaro and Joe Biden did definitely not see eye to eye. There was really this tight partnership between Jair Bolsonaro and former President Donald Trump back in the day. They worked extremely well together. Jair Bolsonaro was really an admiration in front of Donald Trump. And then when Joe Biden came into office, that relationship really tensed up quite a bit. It was really brought down to its lowest level. And so there is a goal really shared by the Brazilians and the Americans to sort of get these two men who know each other well. Joe Biden meeting Lula when he was vice president and Lula was president. And they sort of get along. They agree on a lot of things. And they really want to put the sort of past two presidents, past their predecessors in the past and look forward to rebuilding the ties between the United States and Brazil. And the Brazilians, of course, very happy to see that Joe Biden was one of the first to congratulate Lula, and Joe Biden was also one of the first to condemn what happened on January 8th in Brazil.
Okay, Caravan.